Factsverse presents. After a dad and son saw a "help" scratched into the dirt, a voice led them to a startling discovery. Ryle Gordon and his stepfather, Chris Tumbrich, went to their family's cabin in Hayden, Idaho. They often took hunting trips in the countryside, and usually nothing too interesting would happen. There was one day, though, that they saw the word "help" scratched into the dirt near the property. At first, they didn't think much of it, but after a few moments they thought maybe somebody was really in need of help. It turned out that their second instinct was the right one. I'll share the rest of this story in just a moment. First, help us spread the word about Factsverse by clicking the like button. And also be sure to subscribe and click the notification bell so you don't miss our future videos. The area where their cabin was located had a population of just over 13,000 people. Due to the area's stunning landscapes, Ryle and Chris loved exploring the area, and according to the 15-year-old Ryle, he was practically raised in that family cabin. Since most of their trips to the cabin were uneventful, they didn't really expect much from their trip in November of 2018. Shortly after arriving, they realized something was wrong. While heading to the cabin, they saw a search party, and they were looking for a 19-year-old girl named Catherine Katie Ogle, who had recently disappeared. The search party was very serious about finding her because she had a cognitive issue where she was more like a 10-year-old when it came to her mind. The Kootenai County Sheriff's Office had asked residents to check their home security footage to see if anybody's camera picked up the missing girl. They also asked that residents check their outdoor structures like barns and sheds, and for days there was no sign of Katie. While the volunteers and emergency workers were hunting on the ground, another search was going on in the sky. There were over 60 search and rescue dogs on the ground sweeping the area, and a plane flew overhead. Before heading to the cabin, Chris heard the story of this missing girl, and he and his stepson decided that they were going to offer their assistance in the search party as well. Chris told Ryle that since they knew the area like the back of their hands, they should be able to help out quite a bit. They drove to the cabin, which sat 4 miles away on a single-track road, and on the way there the road began to narrow, and then they saw something strange. It was that note that was scratched into the dirt that read, "Help." When the pair saw that, they both thought it was kind of creepy. At first, Chris thought that maybe a hunter had put it there after shooting a deer. He thought maybe the shooter needed help carrying the carcass. It was Ryle who had another theory. He thought that maybe the note was left by the missing girl. He took a photo of the message and went to find the search party that they found on their way to the cabin. When they showed the volunteers the message, they were shocked. They had just been about to give up for the night when Chris and Ryle approached them. Everyone headed to that area of the cabin and called out for Katie. Because the engines were so loud, they couldn't hear anything, but soon they heard a voice coming from over the ridge, and they saw Katie nestled in the tree line. She was in a sleeping bag when a rescuer asked her name, and she told him that she was Katie. She was able to survive for 2 days because she stayed in Ryle and Chris's cabin, which was loaded with supplies. When they found Katie, she was still frightened. She worried that maybe she'd be in trouble for being in somebody else's cabin. Chris and Ryle assured her, though, that they were not mad and that they were glad she found safety in their cabin. They were thrilled that they had headed to the cabin when they did. If they hadn't, they may have never found Katie in time. When the pair was interviewed by the news, they said that they were not the heroes. They said the members of the search and rescue team who'd been out in the elements for days, they were the true heroes. At the end of the day, everybody was thankful that Katie had been found regardless. Subscribe for more!